What's going on, everyone? So the plan for this video was to do a sort of video on the comeback of Miesha Tate and her rise to title ascension, and her journey to challenging for a title once again. Unfortunately, yesterday she lost to Vieira with a split decision. So I don't think this is going to be too relevant now. I don't think she's going to fight for a title after losing yesterday and being 35 years old. But I feel like I still want to review the documentary on Fight Pass that came out, which is called Miesha Tate 2.0, and just speak about just what she was speaking about in that documentary. Because even though she lost, she still performed well. I feel like she won the first 2 rounds. She landed a beautiful Anderson Silva style front kick to Vieira's face, who just ate it, and she showed some great wrestling in round one, takedown defense, and she outstruck her in round one. But I felt like as the fight went on, Vieira was landing the cleaner strikes, the more powerful strikes, and got the job in that way. And Miesha couldn't really get her ground game going. So Miesha's known for wrestling and her takedowns the same way that she won the title against Holm, took her down and choked her out in the last round, which was one of the maddest cards. Same card that Nate beat Conor, number 1. So that was a card of the underdogs. Two underdogs just came in, stole the show. So yeah, one of my favorite cards. But anyway, yeah, that's her game. So she couldn't really implement it against Vieira. Vieira just looked like the bigger woman, the stronger woman in there as well. But even though she lost, Miesha still felt that she's evolved as a fighter, and she performed well, which is the main thing. So the documentary I just want to speak on is just showing that she was saying that she achieved so much in her career under a lot of stress. So this main stress in her career came from her relationship with her coach, and that was also her boyfriend as well. So that's Brian Caraway, also a UFC fighter, but also a coach. And there's actually some footage in there about it was one of her fights. I think it might have been the last one, her last retirement fight, and he's in the corner, and in between rounds he's saying, "Oh, you look like dog shit," this and that. And it's like, mate, it's like, you don't say that to a fighter in the corner. Like after first round, if she's losing, be like, okay, we lost that one. Come on, let's get this one back. Not like, oh, you look like crap. What you doing? This and that. And even after the fight, he said to her, oh, you look like there's something physically wrong with you. And the other guy in the corner had to be like, yo, Brian, not now. It's like you can have that argument after. So she was saying that a lot of her fights that she went into, she had this problem with Bright. Like there's a bit of stress going on in the relationship, but she didn't feel like she needed to leave the relationship because she was winning a lot. She did win a lot of her fights. She did have that losses to Rousey, but she did eventually get the title against Holm, which was amazing. So now she's saying that without him in the camp, she's now training with lots of different coaches. So she's training at the PI for her strength and conditioning. She's working with the genius Sam Calavita training lab. Everything's based on data there. They do some amazing stuff. I was looking at their website the other day. They do literally every kind of testing, so it's making sure the athlete's at the top of the game. And then they were showing she did a bit of training with Trevor Whitman as well, coach of the year for sure this year. So yeah, she was just saying like she's got control of everything now, and she's actually, since retiring, she's got married to another fighter called Johnny Nunes, had 2 kids. She said, I'm in a better mental space now, so I should be able to perform better. But I feel like at 35, she looked a little bit slow, like the punches are a bit slow, kicks are a bit slow. Being out the game, being inactive for a while. So in between her UFC retirement, she went to Singapore, where she was like a commentator for one championship and made it all the way to vice president. So she had an amazing career there. Now she's come back here. She said it was COVID that sort of got her thinking like she wants to come back into martial arts. And then she made that decision to come back, got a win, and now got a loss. I feel like she might be just like, she's a big name. She's still a big name. She might be just a gatekeeper now for the top 5. Maybe have 2 fights for the money. And then retire. If she wins the 2 fights, let's say, she might get title shot just because of her name. But realistically, we know how that's going to go down with Nunes. No one's stopping Nunes in that division. But Vieira's onwards and upwards to a top 5 now. So that was that fight. Next fight was Chiesa versus Brady. Now, I thought Chiesa was gonna win, maybe just like out grapple Brady. In fact, the total opposite happened. Brady out grappled Chiesa. Just against the fence, held him down on the floor, just a better grappler all around. So I feel like Chiesa's losing it a bit now. Lost the submission against Luque, which he said was a mental lapse, but now also against Brady. So I feel like Chiesa, brilliant start to welterweight, amazing, and then now he's falling off. So I don't think Chiesa will be anywhere near a title shot now. He needs to get back to his winning ways if he wants any chance at that shot against Usman. And that division's heavy. A lot of people in that division. So fair play to Brady. I think he was saying that he wants the winner of Bilal and Stephen Thompson, the winner of that. So him versus Wonderboy. Wonderboy just brings something different to that division. As long as he can keep it on the feet, not many people are beating him. We all forget he beat Luque. Luque's like the man now. That he's like top 3 in that division, and people want to see him maybe go for the title, fight Nate Diaz, all of this and that. But let's not forget Stephen Thompson outstruck him. It's just the only problem with Thompson is if he's on his ground game is just not there. Obviously coming from a kickboxing background. So yeah, I think Brady could get that fight. I think especially if Belal wins, he'll get that fight. But I feel like Thompson should get that done. Moving on, Davey Grant versus, who did he fight now? It was fight of the night. He got a bonus for it. I'm just gonna check quickly, but I just watched the highlights and it was crazy. David Grant's actually one of Bisping's mates, based in Durham. So he's a fighter, but I think he has a gym and he has a restaurant as well. So I think that's why he's never really got really, like, he's fought great people. He's fought Vieira, beat Vieira, lost to Vieira, fought him twice, but he's never really got up that lad. It's like being a win and a loss sort of career. I feel like maybe he's got too much going outside, but at 35 now, I think he's just fighting for the fun of it. But if I just look now, he fought someone called Yanez, and Yanez got the win. But I felt, watching the highlights and reading the comments, everyone was saying that it was a robbery. Grant got robbed. But you know what? He looked quick. Some amazing spinning kicks. He rocked Yanez twice. He was really landing on him. So it's a shame to see him get that loss. I don't know where Grant goes in that, but he got performance of the night, so he'll get that bonus. Coming off 2 losses of Vera Yanez. He's not ranked, so yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, shout out Grant and Yanez for that amazing fight. And if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend catching up on that fight, because that was a brilliant fight. Now, just moving on now so that's covered. There were the fights that I wanted to talk about and talk a bit on Miesha Tate. But if we move on now to latest news in MMA. Okay, so going on to the latest news, I think one thing I didn't touch on, I want to touch on, was Khamzat's victory over Jack Hermansson in a freestyle wrestling match. Khamzat, we know he can wrestle, he can strike, but it was going to be interesting to see in this match, just wrestling, what could he do against Hermansson, because Hermansson's also got a wrestling background as well, also known for his submissions as well. So it was going to be interesting, but Khamzat is aggressive, whether it comes to striking, whether it comes to grappling. It was throwing Hermansson around aggressively, won the freestyle wrestling match. So now this is a statement. He's saying, I can do everything. I'm the total package. He wants a fight. He called out Nate Diaz, his picture with a gun, saying, "Come on, Nate, you want it in December? I'm ready to go." Nate keeps tweeting about December. I don't know what he means by that, because it doesn't look like he'll fight in December. But on Twitter, he seems quite fixed on that month. But so looking ahead now, Khamzat, he wants to keep active. Jorge ain't gonna want to have it. Colby ain't gonna want to have it. Burns is the only one that's saying, "All right, then, let's go. Let's see." So you know what? If he gets Burns, is number 3 in the world. So if he beats Burns, that could set up a title shot against Usman. Now at the moment, Usman is struggling for a contender. His biggest challenge was Colby. Beat Colby again. So who else is there for him now? He's just going to keep lapping people. He's not going to go up to fight easy. So yeah, everyone's looking at Khamzat like this might be the guy. I know Sonny, he's not on the podcast today, but I know he's a big fan of Khamzat, and he thinks he'll take on Usman and beat Usman. But he's got to prove himself. I think him versus Burns is brilliant, because you've got Burns, who's got brilliant ground game, also can strike as well. But yeah, Khamzat just looks big. He looks strong. Can he get away with just against someone with such a high pedigree in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Can he just play with him on the floor and just beat him up like he did to Jing Liang, whatever his name was? So yeah, Khamzat staying active. He's ready to go. You got to respect fighters like that. So yeah. So that was, sorry about that one. I was talking to brother. But yeah. So that was that. Jon Jones just tweeted an hour ago that he's been sober for 60 days, back on track. We do want to see Jon Jones and Ngannou fight heavyweight. We want to see Jon Jones at heavyweight. He's playing hardball with his with money and stuff, but he did get in trouble of he had a fight, like he beat up his wife in the car or something like that. So he's trying to get over that 60 days sober. He's training with Henry Cejudo. They said the greatest combat athlete of all time versus the greatest MMA person of all time training together. He said he's going to keep Jon Jones accountable. So maybe that'd be good for him. I don't know if Jon Jones will listen to Cejudo. But yeah, if he does, fair play to him, man. He tweeted out that he also was going to have a wrestling match with Jake Hager, who's also for those of you who watch professional wrestling, he's Jack Swagger, and he's transitioned into Bellator. He's won 4 fights. Obviously, he had a big wrestling background, NCAA champ, national champ, all of that sort of American wrestling stuff. He's won it all. So, but then Hager literally tweeted saying that Jon Jones, mate, the contract's not signed. If the conditions are right, I'll wrestle you, but it's not confirmed at the moment. I feel like Jon Jones does like doing these submission grappling sort of things. He did it on one of Chael Sonnen's cards. I think getting Stan Henderson. He's mad strong in the wrestling. Like he's unbelievable. So I feel like he'll probably just bully Jake Hager anyway, because he's even though he's got a big wrestling background, I feel like Jon's just going to be too strong for him now, especially that he's hitting the weights and moving up to heavyweight. But when does Ngannou come? When does Ngannou and Jones get it on, or Jones start moving up to heavyweight? But yeah, we'll keep that. Hopefully, Jon Jones' solo run carries on, and we see him in the octagon soon. Kayla Harrison, everyone keeps talking about her. So she is in PFL, and she is a judo Olympic champion. Very similar to Ronda Rousey. Like she won the 2012 London Olympics and 2016 Rio Olympics, if I'm correct. And she fights out of American Top Team with Masvidal and all them. Like they've all got some bants going on between them. So yeah, she's 8-0 at the moment. She won £1 million in the PFL tournament, which I think UFC should do more tournaments and put money on the line, because it makes it exciting for her to come from a judo background and win £1 million is massive. If she started in the UFC, she wouldn't have got that. She'd probably be fighting for like 20 to show, 20 to win, and then build up. 20K, by the way. So yeah, the only problem with her is that she fights at 155 in PFL, which is lightweight, but UFC don't have that division. They've got a 145 division. That's the highest division. So Kayla's gonna have to cut down, which she's done before, but it's gonna be hard for her. And then she can go against Nunes, and everyone wants to see that fight. Dana just needs to make that investment in her. She's testing free agency, so Dana gives her a good offer. I feel like she'll come to the main stage. If not, she'll probably go to Bellator. But yeah, that's really it. The next podcast is going to be with Sonny. We're going to talk about the next card. Let me just check what the next card is. I'm sure. Is it the big one, or is it another small one? So it's Font versus Aldo next week. We might jump on and talk about that. The rest of the card's not that good. But Rob coming off the fight of beating Cody, and Aldo's always there. But yeah, I feel like Font will get that done. Then the week after, we've got the big one, UFC 269. We're going to break down the whole card. Every fight's a great card. Unfortunately, Masvidal and Leon got taken off the card. Listening to Masvidal on Ariel's show, he said he's ready to go. He wants Leon again in March, but I feel like Leon's going to sit it out now and wait for Usman. He does deserve the title shot. So if Leon says he's out, Masvidal's going to have to look at other options. He needs to stay active now. He can't just... He had 2 fights he lost against Usman. If he wants another shot, especially his stage of career, he needs to stay active. The one with Colby's still there, but I feel like he's not that... He will fight. I don't know. I just feel like he knows, because of training with him for years. He knows that Colby will probably beat him. Maybe he should look at fighting Burns or even Khamzat. I know Khamzat will probably throw him around as well. It's difficult for Masvidal. It's difficult. He needs a striking battle, really. But all these top 5 guys in that division are all great grapplers. So we'll see what happens with Masvidal, but he's out because of an injury. I hope you enjoyed that episode, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that. See you next week.